Long.
Butthole, 1, 2. Butthole, 1, 2.
I think he's recording.
Hello, everyone again. This is episode 4 of Bottomless Bar. Idiot in charge, Joe, again, here with you. Thanks for joining us. I'm here again with
Kara.
and
Jess.
Welcome, ladies. Thanks for coming by again. Thanks for entertaining me. What are we drinking tonight first? Let's cheers to episode 4.
Cheers. Oh no.
Love you.
All right. We're drinking caipirinhas. We'll unpack that in the next drink or in the next segment, I guess, right? Or one of the segments tonight. Before we get started, though, as in most bars, you have to do a little prep work before you actually unlock the door, a little cleaning, and that's what I'd like to do right now. In episode 3, I made a statement trying to make a larger point that painted victims as responsible parties in their own abuse, and I want to apologize for that. And I do not think that victims are in any way responsible for their abusers' actions. And I'm sorry to the people that are here making this happen with me, and I'm sorry to the people that are listening, may not necessarily know me. If I breached anyone's trust with that, I apologize. And beyond that, let's get into it. Well, I guess this kind of brings me to what one of the things I really wanted to talk about was terrible people, right? Right?
Excellent segue.
Right? Because it's, I had a stress dream about it. One of my issues, one of the things I want to do with this podcast is to help people. I want to help people stand up for themselves. I want to help people stand up for people around them and give them a voice, help to give them a voice and give them the words so that they're not taken advantage of. And, it just weighed heavily on my mind, and I realized that some people out there may not know me, and there's no trust established, right? So it got me thinking about terrible people. I say that at least a lot, this person, this business, these owners, this management, they're terrible. And I just wanted to put that in context. Well, one with you fine people, and then with our listeners out there in the internet. So what I mean by terrible people is, it's an ongoing series of events, right? It is a well-established pattern of behavior over time. I worked for a restaurant years ago that, they were really busy. They took everyone that worked for them for granted, and I haven't been back to one of their properties ever since. So I would just say, like, context matters. There's a level of redemption, I think, right? Like, for some people. Mm-hmm. Like, you two have any thoughts on that? Like, it is like, what point is there no redemption for someone? Mm. Let's put a context, or like something we all know, someone we all know.
Okay, so
Nina.
Okay, so if we're gonna bring it back to Nina, this person just they fucked up one too many times. I think they were beyond the point of return.
It was over years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. I mean, a terrible person is somebody who, if you have a problem with them and you vocalize it and you say, "Hey, these are my problems with you. Let's work on this. Let's get better together," and they choose not to.
Well, then they apologize, but if they don't change their behavior, then the apology means nothing, right?
Yeah.
Then they stay terrible,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, did you had a similar experience with her as well, right, Jess?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was different though, because I was not bartending with her like you guys were.
Yeah.
And so she didn't fuck with my money for most of the entire time I worked with her. And so it was irritating, and I could see it all, and I knew that everything that was being said about her was correct and accurate, and I was on the side of the people who were saying, like, that this was fucked up behavior. But, like, it didn't fuck with my like well-being in any way.
It didn't fuck with your money.
So like when I started bartending very briefly with her, like it started to get under my skin, but that didn't last very long. You know, I didn't actually spend that much time with her. And I think I have I'm used to picking up a lot of slack, not necessarily with like you guys specifically, but like in the service industry positions I've had in the past. And like, I think also with like my personality, I'm like very like type A, and like I'm like that person who will just like assume that they will have to take on responsibility and do most of the shit. And like it's not great for my mental health that I project that on myself, but I think it doesn't. I already am in like a position where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be like busting my ass, and this person, you know, they might not do it, and I'll fucking like it will drive me up the wall, but like I'm already like so primed to like do extra shit.
Yeah, everyone's work ethic is different. Like I rather do 100 people's jobs than like have somebody be like, why hasn't this been done yet? I rather just do it. Just like get to it before it becomes an issue.
Well, and that mentality is pervasive in the service industry, right? It's
and
like,
it allows
shit
people.
needs done, and shit needs done all the time.
Yeah.
You just need to get to it.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
right? And some people will, in the content and the reference that we all are familiar with, some people will just let that happen. They'll just let you get to it.
Right.
You know, and this is something that, and this is what I would deem terrible, right? Someone that has a pattern of behavior over an extended period of time, several months at least, right? So I don't want to seem glib and just, you know, casually throwing that label around for terrible people. I think good people make bad choices, right? And there should be a period of redemption. There should be redemption allowed for good people that are actually trying. And I think that takes context and trust. Like you two have worked with me a lot. I say a lot of dumb shit. Often I don't remember half the stuff I say.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm a bit of a pirate, I guess. And I think over time you two have come to trust me. I'm assuming that's why you're here now.
Yeah.
And so I can say those things, right? I can make mistakes, right? I can say,
of course, yeah.
I can say dumb shit,
Of course.
and not be a terrible person, or as I did in the last episode, you know, say something irresponsible, and hopefully not have to like live with it for the rest of my life. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Well,
a
I
black
think
mark,
that's
right?
the difference, right, between a terrible person and a not terrible person. You acknowledged it and cleared it up, and you just move on.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that kind of brings us, maybe this is a good segue into like a bartender code of ethics. You know, this is something that is talked about tangentially a lot out in the world, but it hasn't really been codified. And I kind of brought it up to you via text. You know, the primary thing is, you know, don't fuck with my money, right? And I guess in reference to Nina, she was absolutely fucking with the money, right? And that's a pretty big breach of that code. I guess it's unspoken, right? The second part would be the second code or bullet point or enumerated line would be don't fuck with their money, right? Don't fuck with the bar's money. Don't give away drinks. Don't give away, you know, don't steal, right?
Yeah.
Don't over pour shit, you know? Very simple stuff. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on if there was anything we should add to that.
I mean, you said didn't you have a suggestion earlier?
I said, don't fucking touch me when I'm working.
Don't fucking touch me when I'm working. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a really good one. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of women in the service industry. They may not necessarily, they may be uncomfortable, right?
And
but-
men.
Yeah,
and men.
And
Yeah.
non-binary
well,
folks. Like, just don't fucking touch people.
Yeah, no, like I brought it up jokingly, but it is legit idea because you kept saying about women, like when we were talking in the last episode about how to hit on you while you're working, and you were like, you could do all these things, but don't fucking touch me.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say that historically, for me at least, that's been different with for me with other men. For whatever reason, I don't know why, it just happens in some of the bars and restaurants that I've worked at, where you just inevitably start playing grab ass with other people.
yeah.
And it just gets kind of gross sometimes. I don't know where that comes from.
But
If there's any men out there that I've groped
And they didn't like it.
and they didn't like it, I apologize.
Interesting. So you don't have like a context set up where you're like, this is our relationship and we fuck around like this. And
Well, it was never said like, hey, do you mind if I grab your ass every now and again?
but
just like
you,
in passing.
you built up like a relationship with that person.
Sure, yeah, it wasn't like,
you
hey,
were just like,
hey,
first day on the job.
welcome
come
to your
here.
first training shift. Now bend over.
Right. No, but I think that's like something that like you've been talking about this whole episode so far, and like we've probably mentioned before, which is context and trust.
And yes, exactly.
Like every relationship we have with anyone, everything we say to anyone, like it's all based in context.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's one of the things that's really interesting about the service industry, because it is tangentially related to so many other things. And then you get this crush of people all in one place, and you add alcohol, and you get to see a lot of these things unfold in real time. The bad things, the good things, right? And I just keep thinking about my last job. I worked with a guy who was a lot taller than me, like almost a foot. He was like 6'4". He has a cat that you like, and I think you follow him on Instagram.
oh, this dude?
I've unfollowed him since.
Oh, have you? Yeah. Well, the cat. Do you still follow the
I
cat?
still follow the cat.
Yeah. The cat. Well, the cat. Yeah. Anyways,
Priorities.
I love cats.
him and I just don't know why. Even still to this day, when we see each other,
Can't keep your hands off each other.
we just can't keep our hands off each other, and it's really weird. And I don't know why.
I don't think it's weird to be touchy-feely with your like friends where there's like an appropriate where the relationship allows, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that where that's
Would you grab a close girlfriend's butt as they're getting up to go to the bathroom, and when you're like out having drinks?
yes.
Oh, okay, all right, because
Yeah.
that's something me and this gentleman done.
I don't
It's-
even I have like off the pod stories for you
Oh,
directly related to this.
wait, you can't share any of this
You
now.
just got too excited.
I know. Well,
I mean I could, but like we might have to cut it
if it gets too juicy.
yeah.
It's after hours material.
It's not super juicy. I think it's hilarious and it's real. I don't know. I'm like a
Well, choose your own adventure. If you don't feel comfortable, then.
I think, so this is not what I was going to say, but like, yeah, I think, my relationships with different friends are different, right? So like, I wouldn't necessarily be like, you know, physical in a certain way with everyone. And I'm not a super like touchy-feely person either. So it takes me a while to get to that point where I would be like hugging on you even.
Yeah, you've never grabbed my ass, so I'm a
No.
little bit offended now that I hear
That's a-
this.
You know, oddly enough, I would never think to do it with someone that I was actually attracted to. It would never even cross my mind.
You don't grab your ladies.
Well, I mean, if it's already established, then yeah, sure.
Oh,
But if it's not, then if I'm just working with someone, but there's potential there.
yeah.
No, that makes sense.
I'm not going to cross that line, right? Like I'm not going to be very respectful and but for whatever reason, the guys that
You're just drawn to men.
well, no,
Maybe you just came to that realization. That's okay.
on pod.
Yeah.
If anyone, yeah.
So where were we going with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
do you
coming
have
out.
a Do you have a Do you have a number 3 to your bartender's code of ethics?
Well, that's what I was trying to help, get, mine you two
Oh,
for
well, okay.
for answers. Like, is it? So I guess I went down this tangent yesterday, and I was, there's such a thing as an International Bartenders Association. I don't know if you know this, but it's geared very heavily towards. It has a very corporate tone to it, right? They have a lot of corporate sponsors, and it's not anything that I would be comfortable being a part of as just a working class person, right? So I was wondering if there was, something just short of a union where, everyone can just sign on. We all just adhere to it. Hopefully, it turns into this wildfire thing where, bartenders just universally agree on these 5 tenets, and they're codified and they're written down somewhere, and we all repeat them. Like, you know, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. And I don't remember what the third rule is. Oh, third rule is if it's your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
I have a suggestion.
Is it about Fight Club?
No, it's not. I don't have it thought through well enough where it's like a fun little statement like yours are, but like maybe, I don't know, I'll throw it out there.
Yeah, throw it out
maybe
there.
It's worth keeping. But I think well, it might be two things, but so the one thing that comes to mind is like gatekeepers. So I think so when I first like wanted to like bartend, and then you had to like teach me a lot of stuff right off the bat, there was another bartender who used to work where we used to work, and I had reached out to him and I was like, I think I'm gonna start bartending, like, do you have any like tips for me? And he was like, yeah, don't fuck up. And then like jokingly, like, and it wasn't meant maliciously, but then Joe and I had a conversation about how like there is like sometimes like a sense of gatekeeping within, like,
absolutely,
with, like
yeah.
A hurdle, like you have to like know the right people, or like there's a sense of like people not wanting to help the new bartenders learn things, or yeah, so like thinking through that, and then just the other thing that I always had in the back of my mind.
This is good. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's just like how, I think because you're in a position of like relatively less power than like the customer and the manager, I just feel like I was constantly thinking about how I can have your backs, you know?
Sure.
Like your backs first, like your values first, trust your words first, like over what the customer said, over what the manager is fucking around with. Like, it was always like, how can I best support my coworker? And maybe this has something to do with the trauma bonding you were talking about, but like I feel like that was what really I held to my core when I was every time I've been in the service industry. And yeah, so I don't know if that's like an offset of any of the things we've already talked about.
Yeah, well, no. So it used to be when I was a younger person in the service industry, you could, it was up to wait staff, bar staff to tip out the ancillary staff, so like bussers and barbacks and stuff like that. And, you know, if you, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen it work really, really well, and I've seen it, work not so well. The management structure will say, well, it should never be less than this. You know, if you make X, then you're tipping out this at least to, your ancillary staff, right? But I've seen, we'll just say bussers, right? Excuse me. Bussers, I've seen them stay in particular servers' sections and only attend or primarily attend to their tables. And then those servers will, and then those tables turn faster, they're cleared quicker, right? And they make a little bit more money compared to everyone else. And then they will tip that bar back out, proportionally, right?
Yeah.
Throw them a couple extra 20s at the end because they made $100 extra that night because of their help. So I to your point, I would say, number 3 on the list is, help those that help you, right? Is that too short? Is that too vague?
I think that's good.
Right? Help those that help you, get people's backs that have your back.
I would never even think that that's a thing. So like the manager would say, this is the minimum you should tip somebody, like your busser.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you as a server you were responsible for how much that person was getting. So like, let's say for example, you and I just didn't get along, and I was your busser.
And that's a thing as well.
And you hated me, and you were like, "Here's $1, go fuck yourself."
Well, whatever the minimum was. Well, it was like, so you would get minimum wage.
Yeah.
Right, like a proper minimum wage, not an adjusted minimum wage like a bartender or server would, right? So, you'd. What is it, $7.25 an hour or whatever now?
Like
so you'd get $7.25 an hour. Some places would just pay you like a flat $10 and then say, well, service people, servers, if you're a busser, servers have to pay, tip you 1 to 4% of their sales, right? And that happens a lot. You'll have people in there that just tip you the bare minimum, like as little as they can. But then I've worked in places, well, as a busser specifically, where you have a bunch of old hats, right? Like people that are career, and they realize how much you're helping them. And if you bust your ass, there's a local place here I bust tables at, and I did it, as a second job, and I did it every Thursday night for several months. And it was not unheard of for me because it was a fine dining place in the Short North before the Short North was a, campus annex. They're the annex of campus that it is now. The career people in there, they would hook me up. It was not unheard of for me to, run my ass off, of course, but then walk out with $200 as a bus boy,
Wow.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Because they were each of these people were throwing me $40-$60, but they're making $400 or $500, in a shift at this times, early 2000s or mid 2000s, I guess. But so wait, what was that? I'm getting off track. I'm losing my own points already.
No, you're good. We were just wrapping up number 3.
Yeah, number 3. Yeah, so help those that help you, right? And to gatekeeping, that's also a thing. That's really a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
that's pervasive. That happens a lot. Yeah, especially in busier places, people don't want to give up those shifts.
Yeah.
And if they're malefactors, right? If they cut a lot of corners, they're messy or something like that. They know they are, right? They know they're cutting corners, so they'll just seek to undermine you.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to.
And that kind of what you're saying now also kind of reminds me of Nina in that. Because I feel like most of the bad Nina stories are ones from you guys, because like I said, I didn't spend a lot of time.
She's really kind of a case
bartending
study.
with her. But when we did start to bartend together, there was like this pattern that started to form where like, because she wouldn't do shit and because my personality was to just do shit because it just needed to be done. Like I wasn't gonna fucking waste my time trying to like get her to do things because, I had seen what happened, which is that she didn't.
And she would bite back so hard.
Right. So I would just bust my ass and do all the shit. Like that was physically possible to do. And I was like, you know what, this is going to be really frustrating for me and I'm going to be really tired and pissed off afterwards, but like whatever. And then she started getting angry at me for how hard I was working. Like she would literally
What?
Yeah, she would
did that to me,
literally be
too.
like, you just like need to stop. Like
She'd be like, go to the back.
yeah,
Go into the back
yeah,
for a
she'd
little
be like,
bit.
you're working too hard. You're making me look bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm making
She would
you...
say that
Yeah.
stuff out loud.
Yeah, she said that to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She said it to me, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like she would, and then like, and
I didn't
it
know
wasn't
this.
like totally joking either. I don't know like if she like kind of tried to play it off as a joke with you, but for me it was like
No,
very serious.
She would be like, why don't you go, put some food in, go,
Yeah.
sit in the back for a little bit. She literally said verbatim, you're making me look bad.
Yeah, yep.
And I would be like, I'm making you look bad because you've
Then
been
do
standing
shit.
in the
Yeah.
corner scrolling through your phone
Yeah.
for the last half hour. Or you've been standing at the end of the bar rolling silverware, like one roll of silverware per every 3 minutes for the last
Oh my God, I
half
forgot about
hour.
that.
You know what
She would wipe every single silverware. roll, 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 roll. Fix the roll, put it in the thing. Like, it took her like probably 2-3 hours to roll a basket of silverware.
Okay, would you rather that or a bartender who like when they wrap silverware, they throw like the fork upside down and then like the napkin is all lumpy and so you can't give it to a customer because it looks like shit.
I just rather the job get done. I don't care what it looks like.
Oh, it's bad.
I care what it looks like.
I care what
that
it
shit
looks
bothers
like.
the fuck out
I
of me.
care
It
what it
really
looks like.
bothers me a lot.
Like it looks so bad, Kara, that you almost cannot hand it to a customer.
Okay,
It's
like-
embarrassing.
Okay,
It looks like a 4-year-old did it.
I think I know who you're talking about that did this, but
Well, here's the other thing with the situation like Nina telling you to like take it easy or whatever. In that type of situation, she can then also turn around and, right, like backdoor you and say, well,
Kara was in the back eating a meatloaf
exactly,
sandwich.
exactly. And we had all these glasses everywhere, and I couldn't get to everybody, and all this stuff, you know. So that's why you never, you know, if you're a hard worker, just stay the course, right?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
so all of this just speaking to your point about gatekeeping and like how people get like protective of their positions and you know want shit to stay.
Well, they don't necessarily want to do more,
Right.
you know, and they want to keep all the money. Yeah. So yeah, number 3.
So
You
wait, what would how would the gatekeeping thing
Well, maybe that's,
just a separate entity?
well, you know, it's
Entity.
like 3A, right? 3A, something like that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like tangentially. I would assume that each one of these has its own like subsections.
Yeah.
Right. You know, 1A, you know, or you know, 2A, don't steal.
Yeah.
Right. Don't give away drinks. You know, it's unpacked, but the basic gist is right there, right? You know, so number, you know, 3A, you know, help, you know, don't fucking gatekeep. You
Yeah.
know, and this goes back to what I was saying, you know, in previous episodes about mentorship, right? And also tangentially, this is one of the ways that management feels their staff is that there's no path in the service industry to improve. And in our shared experience, manager Chad was absolutely trying to keep Jess in a particular position, not necessarily, you know, giving you room to grow, right? And experience and do new things and live your life. And, you know, that's another thing that's endemic in the service industry and something I think, you know, should change. And that, you know, maybe that's 3B, right? Is, you know, you were helping him. You were doing him a favor, his words. And why not throw it back to you,
Yeah.
right? You know, I think that's good management, you know. So, well, speaking of management, do you guys have any examples of good management that you've seen out there, like managers you've really liked?
I mean
Crickets. I know, that's terrible.
The woman
God,
I
that's
catered
terrible.
with, I shouted her out in an earlier episode. I fucking loved working for her. Like catering, it is a very rough job. Or at least my experience with catering specifically. I assume like it's a little different in every little subset of that industry. Like, but you know, when you're like with concert catering, like when it's like busy season and there's a ton of concerts, like you're working like crazy hours, like you're prepping the food and then like staying up super late to do that, and then you're like
Break it
going and
down.
actually working the event.
Yeah.
You're actually working the event, and then you have to break everything down that night and like clean all your shit that night, and then you have to wake up the next day and do it all over again for a different concert. Somehow find time to make more food, and so like that was like a lot. But she was really fun. She was really chill. We I don't know. I guess I'm not naming anyone, so I can like kind of.
You used to smoke a bag of weed with her?
Well, we used to smoke a bag of weed. There was a runner who would bring us newspaper articles, like wrapped up, and be like, "Oh, have you read this article in the New York Times?" And there would just be like, yeah, just be weed in it.
That's tight.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So wait, they weren't like, hey, here's a bag of weed.
No, they did not say, "Hey, here's a bag of weed."
Hey.
Hey.
Can I interest you in a bag of weed?
I don't understand why that's so weird.
It's probably not. It's probably not. It just was to me in that moment, and I thought very funny. And yeah, like I imagined like a little leprechaun handing out bags of weed.
Yeah. Oh,
A weed bag. I don't know.
a leprechaun.
Yeah.
A little leprechaun. Fair enough. Okay. Well, we're coming up on
On that note.
the 30-minute mark. I think we're all about done with our drinks, except for Jess is slacking over here.
I am such a lightweight. You know this about me.
I got at least 4 more in me.
Yeah, I mean,
Christ.
this one went down super smooth. I may find myself in a similar trap as,
mean, it tastes like
as
juice.
last week. It does taste like juice.
It's
Yeah.
literally adult juice.
Yeah.
So good.
Sweet, sweet nectar.
But yeah, I think we're going to get another round and come back in a little bit, tell you about Caparrinas. So.
Drink break.
All right. So this is Joe from Bottomless Bar. I want to tell you a little bit about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, MySpace Podcasts. I don't know who the fuck does podcasts anymore, but it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. And this is your mandatory call to action. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Big. My uncle would be like, where
I've
did
never
this...
been to a macaroni
What's
grill.
a macaroni grill?
Oh my God. I don't have... I gotta go.
Do they actually grill the macaroni?
You've never been to...
I've never been to a macaroni grill.
I think maybe it's like a Northern Ohio thing. They're everywhere. It's similar to like
What,
Carrabba's.
Northeastern or Northwestern?
I mean, I grew up in Northeast Ohio.
I've never seen a macaroni grill.
They're everywhere.
Wait, you haven't seen them either?
No.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
maybe
Am I making this up?
maybe you
But
just
we grew
dreamed
up-
this.
Apparently, we grew up in the same
Okay,
region.
let me talk to you about the macaroni grill.
Tell us
Why
all.
do I have to culture people on fucking Applebee's and macaroni grill?
Well, you're our fucking culture correspondent, so.
All right, we're coming back from drink break.
Oh yeah, drink break. Yeah, we're drinking.
Wait.
How do we say it?
Caipirinha.
Caipirinha.
You always say it like it's the name of an Italian ship.
I'm sorry. Maybe it is. We don't
A
know.
caipirinha.
Yeah. What's in a caipirinha?
There's.
Caipirinha.
Oh my god.
Caipirinha.
This is a nightmare. Should I just play the pronunciation
Yes.
into the speaker?
Yes, please.
Ideas.
Shout
Yes,
out to a
please.
coworker out there. Caipirinha.
Okay. Caipirinha.
Can you just every time we need to say Joe, just put that in there, please, please,
Oh my god, that
Please.
would be hilarious.
please. I will give you a little one of these if you want. A wet one.
A wet willy.
Definitely not interested.
Okay, talk about the. I'm
Things
so
get a little
invested
twisted.
in the macaroni grill. We
Hang
have
on a
these
second. I thought they were
drinks.
called cacachacas. What's
No.
the cacachaca?
That's not. That's not.
Cachaça. Okay, so let's just talk
Cachaça.
about the drinks.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit
So cachaça, lime, and sugar. So that's the basic drink. I believe it's. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, as I often am. The national drink of Brazil. At least it is incredibly popular down there. Cachaça is related to rum, but it is not rum. Rum is a distillant of molasses and or the weird frothy foamy stuff that forms on sugar as it's being refined. Cachaça is a distillant of raw cane juice. There is such a thing as aged 1 year, like a golden cachaça. They have a different name for it. And then there's a 2 year that they age in barrels as well, and that's considered like a sipper. Like you wouldn't mix it with lime and sugar. But in this case, this is a slightly Americanized version. And this particular recipe, I've kind of adjusted for service behind a bar. So, what I do is, as we all do in bars, is we'll batch our sugar in liquid form ahead of time. So it's the juice of one whole lime. And what I do is I cut the limes into quarters. I squeeze them per drink into a tin, an 18-ounce tin. 1 ounce of simple syrup. I muddle the limes in the simple syrup. Then I add 2 ounces of cachaça, ice, shake hard as fuck and for a long time, and then strain over a big cube, garnish with lime. How would you describe this drink? How would you
Adult
describe
juice.
cachaça? Like
Sweet
I
nectar.
fucking love cachaça. I think it smells. It reminds me of like honeydew for some reason every time I smell it.
sure.
And you
Yeah.
said like a fermented banana.
Yeah,
Is
like
that
a
what you
like a
said?
funky banana is
Funky
what
banana,
I get from it.
Which
a lot,
I could
yeah.
also see.
Yeah.
I can't. I fucking love. I would wear that smell.
There's
as
kind of
perfume if
a molassa note to
I
it
love
almost,
it.
right? It's kind of grassy,
Yeah.
kind of molassa-y,
Molassa-y.
Molassa-ish. Molassish. Molassish.
Molasses.
Hey.
And then the lime, it's just fruity and super easy drinking. It's great in the summer.
It's so good.
Goes down
Great in the winter.
great in the winter.
great in
Yeah,
the
About to have a
We're
snowstorm
about to
here.
have
I'm
a
having
huge storm.
really
Yeah.
enjoying myself.
it's one of my favorite drinks. It's one of my favorite drinks to make. It's one of my favorite drinks to talk about. It's one of my favorite drinks to serve. So, yeah. Here, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers again.
Round two, cheers.
Drink
Cheers.
break.
Okay, now.
All right. Okay.
Now.
All the stuff
Finally.
Jess has stolen.
No,
Over the years.
Macaroni
I would
Grill.
like to
Oh,
have
macaroni.
the floor.
I apologize.
And then I'll talk about my
I would like-
kleptomaniac
Yes.
history.
I'd like to
Yes.
give the macaroni grill the respect it deserves.
You know what? Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I might have applied for a macaroni grill job at some point. in my
See?
career.
That's stone cold. You applied for a job there, and just a second ago you said, I've never heard or seen of one in my life.
See, okay, so there's one in.
Fuck them.
There's the
They don't
closest
exist to me.
macaroni grill to us is near. Well, it's in the.
Is it in Coshocton?
No, it's in Tuttle, near Tuttle Mall.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so but all others are in Northeast Ohio. So that's where I grew up going.
Let me see the map.
So basically, Macaroni Grill is basically like Olive Garden, Carrabba's, but they
Wait, so the full name is
Romano's
Romano's
Macaroni Grill. That's what it says on the map. But if you go
Like-
to their website, it's just Macaroni Grill.
Ray Romano?
Interesting. Also, it's west of Cleveland, and that's why I've never heard of it because I was east of Cleveland.
Okay, but it's Northeast Ohio.
Oh, I know, but I'm just pointing out.
You didn't ask me that.
You sound like such a snob right now.
I'm just saying I
Like
did not grow
like
up.
I was supposed to know the streets you grew up on.
No,
or something.
I am not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's why you know it and I don't because I was farther east than you.
Okay, we'll fight later.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Joe, I'm not fighting anyone and you will never see me fight ever. I will just continue to run.
Okay, so the
We'll see
Macaroni
about
Grill, we used to go to before, school dances, anything. Like, it was like always, we went with family, we went with friends.
Did you get pumped? Were you pumped to go there?
We got dropped off in a fucking limo. Of course we were pumped.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you get like psyched off of like
High
soda and
rollers.
Skittles?
No. Didn't you listen to the previous episodes? I was up on that Burnett and Red Bull, baby.
Oh.
Have you ever had a cherry Burnett?
No.
Yeah, cherry Burnett's.
Oh, it's that east side, west side Cleveland shit.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, exactly.
They're really far apart from each other, so,
Yeah.
Okay, Macaroni Grill, you walk in there, they put the paper down on the table. As a kid, you could color on it.
The best.
But as an adult, every time they, the house wine came in like a small like juice glass, and like classic Italians, like if you ever watch like Sopranos, like they drink wine out of like a juice glass. They don't drink like out of
Stemware.
stemware. It's just like a small glass.
Interesting.
So that's what I think the real guys do, guys and gals. So, anyways, you go in there and they, every time you get a glass of wine, the server comes over and he puts a mark in front of you so they can keep track of how many you're drinking. Like
Oh
sort of,
my
God.
sort of as a joke, but sort of as like,
Yeah. Also,
I
Yeah.
kind of love it. Like if I was the server, I would fucking love that. I would be.
you just put it on their arm.
Yeah.
I would just fucking love that.
Anyway, so shout out Macaroni Grill. It's a fine establishment.
Call us.
I try to go anytime I'm in town, so.
Wait, why did we bring this up?
I don't know. It's just the people need to know about it.
Well, our culture correspondent. Culture correspondent had to enlighten us as to how the West Siders do up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't really have anything like that from when I was a
Macaroni
teenager.
Grill?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know, Don Pablo's? But I wasn't, like,
What are you looking for as a place that everyone went to before school dances, or like a place where people?
well, I never went to school dances.
Fair.
I never did that. I was too fucking cool for that.
Hell
So
yeah.
no one wanted to go with me, honestly. But
No one
also,
with me
I was too
either.
cool. Yeah.
My older brother offered to be my prom date, so
Oh.
that's where I sat.
Nice.
I did not go
That
with him,
explains
but
so
it was
much
really
about
nice.
Did he go to the same school as you?
Yeah.
So everyone would have known.
Yeah.
Would you have danced with them?
I don't know. We're very close.
Keep a
and
little room for Jesus?
We're
Wait, how close?
so close.
Oh God.
Do you massage each other's feet, like if they're sore?
No.
Oh my God. I had an ex who would do that with her brother, and it was always a little weird to me.
I mean,
Just a little bit weird.
Yeah, that's not right.
Would you and Krell do that?
No, absolutely
I would
not.
never do that with my
I would
siblings.
never,
ever,
I would
ever.
never touch
I
Krell's
mean,
bunions.
I wouldn't. That's not. I would. We don't.
Sorry, Krell.
But like, I wouldn't think it was that weird. We're very close. I feel like
I feel like
like I don't
Do
know.
do you have your own language?
I mean, like referencing like movies, like movie quotes. We could probably talk strictly in movie quotes for like a week. And like,
And your older brother, he's the really tall one,
no,
right?
that's my younger brother.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're both tall, but my younger
Yeah.
brother's very, very tall.
Is it okay? So your older brother, all the tattoos?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. He seems nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember
they're
his
very
name.
nice.
Wait.
Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
Chad. Yes. Thank you.
It was on the tip of your tongue.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I
And
got.
my younger brother's name.
Also
also
Chad.
Chad.
Also
That's
Chad.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
How did your
Sorry.
mom? How do they know? How do they know?
Joe's
how do they know who's
I have
being
enough to
spoken
do.
to from your mom? Like, how do they know?
It's the intonation.
Oh, okay.
So wait.
Wait,
Stealing.
what?
Have you were just telling me about how much of
Oh.
a klepto you are.
Yeah, we were talking about like shitty customers who like steal stuff. That's what. And then I was like, well, I was that.
So wait, has everyone here stolen from a restaurant, right?
Yeah, I like not in my adult life, but yeah.
Like little things.
Yeah, well, yeah, that counts. It doesn't. The size doesn't matter. What was the biggest thing you stole from a restaurant?
I've been I didn't wreak havoc. Like my main course of like shenanigan was not
Oh.
Ah.
at restaurants and bars was not theft. It was
Okay.
just like general destruction of property.
What? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Like
wanna
what?
know. I don't want to know.
Like
She's opened up some weird shit tonight. I'm sort of
Yeah,
afraid to
for
find
real.
out.
This is
what?
like drink
You
two.
touch your brother.
Drink two for Jess.
Okay.
She touches her friend. She touches her brother. What's next? You wipe your poop on the walls in restaurants? I'm not ready for this.
No, I do not do that. No, I was just talking about how like
She touches her brother.
you make me look so weird.
You're saying it into the mic.
I am.
What do you do at restaurants?
No, I was talking about how
What's your
in my
kink?
younger days, like when I was, borderline underage drinking and then would go out to bars having already pre-gamed or like just turned 21. So very sloppy time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think white girls can get away with a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So what'd
you
you do?
lean into that as a drunk person. So, like, dancing on top of surfaces you're not supposed to dance on. Like, there was one occasion where I took a picture off a wall. That was the klepto experience. I've stolen from a lot of places.
Where did you put it?
Where'd I put it? I don't know. It probably got thrown away eventually.
No. To
Like,
get out of the
to get out of the
I
establishment.
just took it. Like, people
You
just
just
weren't
like
paying
walking
attention.
out. Oh, fuck. God, I hate
It was
that.
late.
And honestly,
club drinking.
if I was working there, I'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, people take glassware and shit. I don't chase them down. Just like, all right.
But to
cool.
take
It was like a small picture. I've taken like a lot of coasters, but like that's all I've taken. But in terms of destruction, there was one bar I was at in Italy where they had like this big thing of peanuts. And you were supposed to like put them in the garbage, the shells, or like put them, in a specific location. And I was just like fucking throwing them all over the floor. And they were
You
getting
were
really
that
pissed about it.
American.
Yeah,
I did that
I was so fucked up. To be fair.
I knew a guy years ago that stole menus, and
Okay.
he displayed them in his house.
That's weird.
Like he was super proud of it. He had a whole wall
Yeah.
full. It was probably 30, 35 menus.
Okay.
And like not like it was like the shittiest places. It wasn't like, Tavern on the Green,
Yeah, it's a nice place.
The best thing I ever stole, this is not from a restaurant, but it has to be said because I'm very proud of myself, was when I was an undergrad and I was out and I was drunk and I decided to go home and my friends wanted to stay out, so I was feeling pouty and I was walking back past all the fraternities.
Feeling pouty.
Yeah, I was feeling like, they left me.
I don't know what that. Oh,
Like,
I don't
I
know
have
what
to
that's
walk back
like.
all by myself.
Do you know what that's like? Have you ever felt pouty?
I've never been left
You've
behind.
Joe, you are such a fucking big powder. You
What
get
the-
pouty
what?
at work. You get pouty at work.
What are you talking about?
You get all okay. This is a sidebar, but can I finish the story because it's a great achievement of mine.
The greatest thing you've ever stolen.
It is the greatest thing I've ever stolen.
A
And
jockstrap?
I was walking past like all the fraternities, and
Her brothers.
one of them had. Oh my god!
And I came home and I said, "Look at Chad. Look what I got for you. Chad, will you put it on for me?"
I have stolen boxers from a fraternity. This is all different. This is all different.
Aren't you so glad you stayed past drink break?
Yeah, I'm loving it. So I was walking past all the fraternities, and this one fraternity that I did not fuck with had their cornhole boards out in front of the fraternity, and I was like, I'm gonna take this. So I just
Both sets or just one?
I just picked up one of those like huge cornhole boards and
Did
like
you put your head
dragged
through the
it.
you put your head through
No,
the
I
hole?
just carried it, and there was like a police car that drove past
.com.
and like different cars, and I just like stood there, and I just kept it in my dorm room.
That's
And
awesome.
that was the best. And then I don't know where it is. I think my friend still has it.
Okay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything that I've stolen. I don't steal anymore. Yeah, thank you, Joe.
I've stolen a lot of
Nod of
food.
approval from Pod Mom.
Pod Mom called me out. I've stolen beer glasses, but I'm not really ashamed of myself. I also have a similar peanut story. There's just like, I don't think it's bad, really. Like, so, what's the place where you do that at?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Oh.
So there's this bar in Dayton. Shout out Dayton, Ohio. My friend Nina is from there, and I used to go there to visit my friend in college, and Nina's just coincidentally from there, and it's Nina and her dad's, their family, their bar, when they go home, and when she goes to visit them, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been to Kramer's. You like when you go there, fine establishment. When you go there, they give you peanuts, and you put the shells on the ground. I love that kind of place. It's very chill. And she goes, you don't put peanut shells on the ground at Kramer's? You're not allowed to do that. And I that's one of my favorite pastimes. I specifically remember going there and doing that there. And so if that wasn't allowed, someone should have said something.
Wait, you were the only one, though.
Supposedly. They serve the beers. The beers are like 32 ounces. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know my name. The peanut shells go on the ground.
Oh, my God.
So if you work at Kramer's and you remember that, I'm sorry.
There
Yeah.
was one night where I was out in Cleveland on like a rooftop bar, and there was like slatted, was like a tiki style thing. So there were those like really thin, like almost like bamboo, maybe like slatted things along the walls, like really thin. And I was really fucked up. And
That's one trend I really like, actually. Rooftop bars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like rooftop patios and stuff like that. I love that shit.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, I broke a lot of those
Rooftop bars.
bamboo
Oh.
things. But that's it. That's my history of.
Yeah, the worst thing I've ever done, and this probably isn't true. I'll remember something eventually. But one of the things is I used to sing karaoke all the time. And Beck
What was
Loser.
your karaoke song? I know this, but the listeners must know.
Oh, well,
I know you have a couple.
yeah, I have a few. One of my favorite duet is Paradise by the Dashboard Lights
Excellent choice.
by
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Yeah, I also like Beck Loser. Yeah. Well, I didn't know this, but apparently he gave a bunch of money to Rick Santorum's presidential campaign a few
Who?
years ago. Meatloaf.
Oh.
Right. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I heard from trivia guy that does trivia at our
Our
place.
trivia guy?
Yeah, our trivia guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you mean Chad? The trivia
Chad,
guy?
yeah, Chad, the trivia guy, yeah. And, yeah, so, but yeah, Beck Loser. There's a few others. But I was doing
I
Beck.
thought you liked, I'm drawing a blank on it. Continue.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll remember.
But I was doing Beck Loser and, or Loser, I guess, and I was up at the thing, and the guy had a bunch of, wires and stuff, and the microphone and for the speaker and everything. And I started doing this dance, and my foot got caught in one of the wires, and I knocked his speaker over, and it went right into his table where he had all his shit. And I just kept singing, and he had to basically grab me and take the microphone away from me so he could like clean his whole shit up or whatever. And
That's not bad.
That's not-
like an
yeah.
accident.
yeah, not really an accident, I guess, but
What? You didn't do it on purpose? You
kind
did.
of.
Oh.
I didn't intentionally hook my foot into but I
Right.
could have stopped. I could have,
Oh, okay.
but my friends were laughing at me, and I just kept going. And oddly enough, I was underage. I was only 20 in this bar, and totally shit faced, drinking Bud Lights.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so stealing in bars or stealing from restaurants for whatever reason, customers do this all the time. They steal the craziest shit. Salt and pepper shakers,
Yeah.
stickers off of walls. There was one bar that I went to that had this like fairly large picture of Bob Marley on it, and it had screws in it. It was like
No.
screwed into the wall. I went there on a Monday. I came back on a Wednesday, and it was gone. I was like, "What happened to this?" To the bartender, and they were like, "I don't know. Someone stole it." I was like, "How the fuck does someone steal
Like
this
the fact
thing?"
that
It was
people walk out with that something of like a certain size,
yeah,
and then the screws, because I see that. I mean, people did that at the place that we worked at, and then they started drilling that shit into the wall,
yeah.
and it didn't happen anymore.
And didn't that happen at the cocktail place we like to go to? They have
They have like
now
they
in
wrote,
the bathroom they wrote there used to be a picture here, but it got stolen.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you remember the kid that stuffed all the toilet paper in his
Yeah.
Oh my
jacket?
god!
Yeah.
Yes. That was just great. That was
People used to
yeah,
steal
go
toilet
for it.
paper all the time. All the time.
Yeah, so, what's the worst thing you've ever stolen out there from a restaurant? We know you've done it. We know everyone's done it. Just tell us. We'll share it on the pod.
I just remembered why we brought up Macaroni Grill.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
during drink break, I was talking about how my cousin used to steal silverware.
Yes.
I'd go over to my aunt and uncle's house, and there'd be like all these different forks, like none of them matched, and like some of them were larger than others, and like all the large. I specifically remember like the large, like heavy duty, nice fork was from Macaroni Grill, because like I said,
Did you guys all fight over it?
it's a fine establishment. So no, we didn't. They always stayed there, but yeah, none of their silverware ever matched because she would steal something everywhere we went.
So where do you get your silverware from now? That's the question.
I bought our silverware.
Is that true?
Yeah, I don't steal. I haven't stolen anything in years. The last time the last
You said that like so like.
like I'm ashamed of myself,
Long
disappointed.
time.
It's been a long time.
It's a great
I
accomplishment.
really ought to get out and steal something.
I quit smoking. I haven't stolen anything in years.
The last glass I stolen was from Denver Brewing Company.
Well, it
Shout
has their logo on it,
Shout
right?
out Denver, yeah.
Well, they don't necessarily give a shit about
No,
that.
they've got a lot of money, I'm sure.
Probably not.
Stuffed it up my shirt and walked out the door.
Yeah. Sometimes, and I will say I've done this. If someone says, "Hey, if I give you $20, would you care if I took these glasses?"
So you like being bribed.
Yeah. Well, everything for price, right?
So if somebody
I'll
gave
turn
you
a
that,
blind eye.
if somebody gave you that $20, would you ring in and say six to the business to replace their glassware?
Well, it depends on the business.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally, yeah. I mean, honestly, I've done it without, someone's like, "Oh, these are really cute glasses." I'll say, "Never seen it." I'll turn around and walk away. If it's not there when I come to clean up, cool.
Yeah, I don't get paid enough to,
Yeah.
check your pockets when you
Yeah.
walk
Right.
out the door.
Right. I do resent it for whatever reason. Like,
It is annoying.
well, yeah, it kind of speaks to that, like, the morality that we are kind of all raised with, right? That, I don't know, people just forget at their convenience when it's inconvenient for them, I guess. I don't know. And it seems to happen a lot in service establishments. People just take shit and, like, whatever they can, you know? And I don't
There's
know.
this video going around on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen it, of this old lady that she steals the like the metal things that French fries come in at nice
yeah.
restaurants. Have you seen that?
No, but I know like what you're talking
They
about.
like the family gets home. It seems like the older lady like lives at the the house of her son or something, and the grandkids are there, and they get home and they're like, check her purse, and they like hold the purse up. They hold the purse up next to her face, and they're like, how did this French fry container get into your purse? She said, I don't know. Don't we have enough of these? And so she clearly does it everywhere they go. It's like awesome.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
My last job, we had these big water bottles that we would put on each other, like on every table. People would steal those. Like, I've literally, watched people walk out with them in their purse, like still full of water.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy.
It's weird to me when people are like not fucked up that they steal. Like, to me,
This place is in an affluent area.
Yeah.
So it was crazy to me
Yeah,
that people are
like,
up there
why are
stealing. Like,
it's
you
so
can
get a cheap TJ
you can get a
Maxx or
box.
some
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. You can get a box of these for fucking $8 at Marshall's.
Yeah.
Why steal it from us?
Yeah, and I feel like at the bar where we all worked, the people who I saw taking stuff were middle-aged,
Oh yeah,
majority. Like, I never saw
a young person.
I never saw a young
Oh
person.
my God.
walking.
What was that?
You two just went on this long tangent about all the shit that he stole.
No.
And you're like, but these fucking boomers
No,
out here
no,
fucking
that's
entitled
not
ass stealing shit motherfuckers.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's weird that at the place where we worked,
Yeah.
the
no.
people who stole were older. That's strange to me. Like, because I imagine, like, they all dress a certain way, like they look like, and they live in the neighborhood, which is like not, it's a pretty affluent neighborhood. And I'm
solidly middle class.
I'm like, why are you taking a beer glass? It's like $6. I'm not saying I've never done it. I'm not saying it's worse when they do it. I just find that interesting. Like,
yeah.
at least when I did it, I was, quasi blackout drunk child who made stupid decisions. But
Yeah.
these are like relatively sober middle-aged folk in like an affluent neighborhood who are just like, you know what, I really want this pint glass and I refuse to pay $6 for it.
I mean, so would you judge your younger self for doing that?
Of course I do.
Like, if you were in a time loop and you seen yourself, your
I
younger
would be
self
so
came in.
embarrassed.
Yeah. I had something to say about that, but then I completely lost it. My poor old brain. I've been trying not to drink.
Yeah.
This podcast isn't helping, is it?
Well, just so I could save myself for this podcast and try to fucking keep some type of clear,
Maybe
cogent
you
thought
need it. Maybe you
process.
need it.
Maybe I need to drink more.
Isn't that
Yeah.
like a thing where like if you learned something when you were under the influence and then you forgot it, like the way to like recollect it is by like going back into that state of mind?
Is it?
Let's get fucked.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
Is that?
Like if
Does
you
that mean
like,
we're all
if
doing
you, like,
shots right now?
learned something or like achieved something like while you were high or drunk, like and you've like forgot, you can't like remember it. You're
Yeah.
supposed to like do that again.
Well, off into the next drink break. We're gonna take shots out of each other's belly buttons.
But not massage our brothers.
We're gonna touch
feet.
each other because
That's
apparently we
weird.
don't do
We're
that.
gonna
enough.
massage each other's feet.
Loosen up a little bit. Maybe our thoughts will come.
All right, and I guess we're all tabbing out here. We're gonna call this an end to episode 4. This has been Bottomless Bar. Please feel free to join us next week when we talk about how much we hate your children and why you should never bring them to a bar. Be sure.
Or have them in general.
Or have children
Go
at
there.
all. Yeah, just Put them out back with the dogs. Is that-
The
maybe
dogs.
cut that out. But be sure to follow us on Instagram at Bottomless Bar, on Twitter at Bottomless Bar. Reach out to us if you have a crazy story, you have a good story, you want to shout out someone, a good drink that you like, anything. bottomlessbar.1@gmail. And hit us up. I'm Joe. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks for everyone that's been listening and supporting us and trusting us. And it's good to see you. Do you guys want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again, guys.